One of the fastest ways to make a sewing machine feel intimidating is to look at all the different dials and settings and knobs and buttons and assume that you need to know every single one before you start. No, you don't. And in fact, if you want to just tailor your own clothes to make them fit you better, you could ignore almost all of them and just pay attention to a few. Here's 8 of them. The first thing you can ignore is pretty much all of the decorative stitch options on there. Now, a lot of modern sewing machines come with a plethora of stitch options. Some of them have 50 stitch options, some of them have like 77 stitch options. And the funny thing is you will never use any of them. Now sure, you might be the outlier who might want to dive into crafting at some point, but for the most part on this channel, all we want to do is make our crappy clothes from the store fit us better. So we just need 2 stitches. We need a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. The straight stitch is going to be our main stitch. That stitch that we're going to use to take in the side seams of our dress shirts, our t-shirts. We're going to use it to hem our jeans, even taper our chinos or shorten our chinos. We use it for pretty much everything. I think you should subscribe. And then the zigzag stitch, we use that as a finishing stitch. What we do is we cut off all that extra fabric on the edge of our garment, and all that's going to fraying us. We don't want none of that nonsense. So we use a zigzag stitch to essentially cover up that raw edge. And we can also use what's called a narrow zigzag stitch in the event that we want a little bit of stretch in our side seam too, but we'll get to that another time. So you don't need to memorize what every single stitch dial means. You don't need to know what every little hieroglyphic means. You're not gonna get tested on any of that stuff, and just because the manufacturer included it does not mean that it is necessary to use. The second thing that you can ignore is the fact or the idea that all of your different clothes, they all require different settings. This one's a really tricky mistake to make because it's really easy for a lot of beginners to think that there are certain settings for certain garments. So for instance, there is a special setting for your dress shirts, and then there's a special setting for your chinos and your sweaters and your t-shirts and so on and so forth. But what I absolutely love about learning how to tailor my own clothes and teaching people how to tailor their own clothes is the fact that the straight stitch, as an example, you're going to set your straight stitch at 2.5. Why 2.5? Well, 2.5 means each individual stitch is going to be 2.5 millimeters in length, and your garment, as you got it from the store, that's how they make those. Each individual stitch is 2.5 millimeters. So that means that you set it to 2.5, and then you pretty much never touch it ever again. Except for one individual case. If you are hemming a pair of jeans, you want to set it to about 3.5, but it's not absolutely mandatory. And same with the tension. A lot of beginners get freaked out by the tension. They think I need to set my tension perfectly for each and every individual garment. Each and every individual garment has its own setting. No, for the most part, you can set your tension kind of middle of the road, and for the most part, if you're not encountering any issues or any problems with skip stitches or puckering seams, then have at it. Now the needle is going to be a little bit different. For the most part, you're going to use a universal needle for a lot of your different projects, but you're also going to use a denim needle for thicker materials, you know, jeans, canvas, leather, things like that. But for the most part, you're just going to use a universal needle, so your needle, yeah, that too, you can just keep it right there and just forget it. Think of all of your normal settings as like home base in a lot of ways. They are where everything is gonna stay, and in the event that you change projects, yeah, you might make a couple of tweaks here and there for your settings, but for the most part, you're gonna set it to home base and then just leave it. The third thing you can mostly ignore is the stitch width option when you are making a straight stitch. Now, the stitch width option, what is it? Well, the stitch width, it's going to control how far from side to side that needle is going to move, how much travel it's gonna have from side to side, but guess what? When you're making a straight stitch, the needle, it doesn't move from side to side, so yeah, no, it's irrelevant. So it's not gonna make that stitch thicker or stronger or wider or anything like that. Now on some machines, the stitch width dial, it will control how far or the position of the needle as far as where it is in relation to your presser foot on your machine. And that can be really helpful if you're trying to get right to the very edge of your garment, as close as you want to. You wanna have some manual control over that, but that is like a one-off use case. And sure, if you're making a zigzag stitch, yeah, then you do wanna be concerned with the stitch width setting, because again, it's going to control how far from side to side that needle travels, but it's just that one use case. So if you're making a straight stitch, which 99.5% of the time you will be if you're taking in the side seams of a pair of chinos or a dress shirt, your t-shirts, or even shortening a dress shirt, you're going to use a straight stitch. So the stitch width, no. The fourth thing you can stop obsessing over and ignoring is your tension. Now, it's for a very different reason reason this time around. A lot of beginners, they will have issues with their sewing machine. Let's say their thread keeps breaking, or they're having puckering stitches or loose or skip stitches, and they automatically look at that tension and think, oh, I need to mess with my tension. My tension setting is all messed up. I made a mistake. But most beginner problems, it's actually not caused by the tension. It's always something stupid. 99.5% of the time, it is going to be something stupid. It might be you threaded your machine incorrectly, so when you threaded your machine, maybe you missed your take-up lever. It's that little lever that goes up and down while you're sewing. You see it kind of poke its head up like, boop, here I am, boop, here I am. And if you don't put your thread through there, then it's not gonna have any control as far as the needle and the garment, and then it's just gonna have a really bad time. Or it could even be this really sneaky one, and that's your bobbin at the very bottom of your machine. Now, if you installed your bobbin incorrectly, that can cause all those exact same issues too. It has nothing to do with your tension and everything to do with your bobbin that's hidden down here underneath your garment. Or you could be using the wrong needle, or it could be a dull needle that you haven't changed in a long time, or the presser foot. Maybe that presser foot isn't down. Maybe it's up while you're sewing, which, yes, that's gonna cause those problems. So go through and change your needle and rethread your machine and make sure that your bobbin is installed correctly. And then, only then, if you are still having issues with it, then you can look at your tension and maybe change it by half a setting or one number, but not anything too drastic at all. So don't go from like 4 to 9 simply because you can't. For most beginner alterations, again, your tension can kind of stay right in the middle and only change it in the event that you have issues. The fifth thing that you could ignore, additional presser feet. Now, the sewing machine that you got, it came with the presser foot already installed. And if it's brand new, it might have came with some additional presser feet, some specialty presser feet. A lot of times they come with like a non-stick presser foot or a blind hem presser foot or a zipper stitch presser foot. And you're gonna look at them and think, okay, well, they included these, so I must need them in order to make my clothes fit better, right? No, you don't. The presser foot that is on your machine, just use that one. Now sure, if you are sewing close to a bulky edge or close to a zipper, then a zipper presser foot is absolutely gonna come in handy. Same with a blind hem presser foot. If you're trying to blind hem a pair of dress pants on your sewing machine, yeah, fantastic. It is absolutely useful for those individual use cases, but for the most part, those are individual use cases. Specialty presser feet can make the job easier, yes, but only use them in the event that you are working on a project that needs them. Otherwise, just stick with the regular presser foot that came on your machine and never think about it ever again. The sixth thing that you could ignore, speed settings. In the event that your sewing machine has different options for speed settings, you can just ignore that. You do not need that as a beginner. It's not something that you need to worry about. Now, the pedal that came with your sewing machine, that is speed sensitive, similar to a gas pedal. You know, you push it down a lot and you go zoom, 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 and then you let go a little bit and it goes like putter, 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 kind of like that. At least my car does. It's really annoying. Now, you don't need to worry about the speed when you are a beginner at all. Just go as fast or as slow as you feel comfortable or as you need. And the funny thing about speed is you don't need to go incredibly fast to get professional looking stitches. Your stitches are not gonna come out looking more professional simply because you got through it quicker. A slow or a medium speed is gonna be able to help you focus on what you're doing and guide that fabric exactly where you want it to go. If you are tapering the side seams of a t-shirt, you're able to focus exactly on that imaginary line that those pins are making. So you can pivot your hands where they need to go to, and you don't need to worry about, oh man, I'm coming up to that next pin way too quick. I need to harshly move my hands, which is gonna end up in a divot in the side of your shirt, and you're gonna be annoyed. Your machine might have an automatic needle threader or automatic thread cutting, and those things are fantastic, don't get me wrong. They have their benefits, but that's another one, just ignore it. You do not need it. The eighth thing that you could ignore is your bobbin tension, because here's the thing, yes, your bobbin, it has its own individual tension. A lot of times it's going to be separate from the top stitch or the top spool of threads tension. Now, here's the thing, a lot of manufacturers, they set up that bobbin tension already intentionally. I hope that makes sense. They'll set it to a certain level and you're not supposed to touch it. It's fine. It has a little screw in there for you to adjust it, but it's not for you necessarily. It's for a repair person to adjust it if they need to. But the biggest overall lesson that you should get is that you don't need to understand everything or have every feature on your sewing machine in order to make your clothes fit you better. You need 2 stitches, a straight stitch and a zigzag stitch. And then Everything in your closet will fit you spectacularly. And now that you know what settings that you can ignore, you might be thinking, okay, fantastic. Well, where do I find a used sewing machine and how much should I pay for it? Oh, you are in luck. That's what we got in the next video. I will see you over there. SD out. See ya.